and welcome to Let's Talk Aging. I'm Gwyneth Johnson with Second Wind Dreams. We are an organization dedicated to changing the way that aging is perceived. And through this interview series, we will talk with people who are doing just that very thing. Today, we are very lucky to have with us Toni Fisk. Toni is a dementia expert, a culinarian, has worked in long-term care, and the author of this marvelous book. And welcome, Toni.
Great. Hi, glad to be here.
We are very happy to have you with us. I think the dining experience is something that we don't think about very much when we're talking about aging and aging with dementia. So
that's true.
I'm really thrilled to be able to focus on you and the work that you've done with this book and the work that you do throughout your career. Now, how did you begin your culinary career?
Well, way back when, I started my career working in hotels in the food and beverage department. And from there, I transitioned to healthcare. Believe it or not, I ended up working at a hospital, Tallahassee Regional Medical Center. And this was, gosh, in 1989, 1990, something like that. They had given us an opportunity to either go to healthcare or stay in the hotel industry. And I said, let me get into healthcare. And from that point, you work in the different areas of the kitchen. So you learn everything that happens. You have to understand what happens from the beginning to the end and how it cycles back around again. And one of my favorite parts was doing the production piece, which is either doing some prep work or managing the inventory and ordering system. So it's kind of like put the pieces of the puzzle together. From there, I did go to senior living, and that was just a fantastic segue, because at that point, as a general manager or dining director, you're in charge of the whole operation. And my first account was, I believe it was like 175 beds. So it was fair size. It was medium. It was a medium-sized community, but I had a great team, and I was able to learn along the way more and more about senior living. And you're always hands-on. You're always hands-on, and just trying to do new and innovative and exciting things to keep the residents excited about food and excited about dining. And you partner with the recreation department, and hopefully they're very forward thinking so that you can do some spectacular events to keep the residents, it's not the same old every day. And that's one of my favorite parts about senior living.
That's fantastic. Food is such an important part of all of our lives. And when we start thinking about the provision of medical care, some of that kind of goes away or gets swept under the rug. Food is celebration, food is tradition, food is socialization. Those are some really important pieces of it, not just I am a patient living with this diagnosis. So I applaud you in bringing attention to all of that, and particularly the dementia care aspect of that. As our bodies change, as our brains change with dementia, it's critical that someone really try to understand who we are as an individual and what we want to eat. It's that person-centered care piece of everything.
Yes, exactly.
What is something that stands out to you that you've learned working in the service of seniors?
Oh gosh, this is not a business for everyone.
No.
And when you have direct contact with the residents, then you learn very quickly whether this is for you or not. And I always made it a point when I was interviewing for staff is that I told them the down and dirty of it. And it's not, it can be a little overwhelming for someone. But if you love the residents and they become a part of your family, you become a part of their family. And it's amazing what I one of my favorite things about working in senior living is the staff. And there's always, I'm telling you, there's always a handful who know the residents more than anybody else in the whole building that, well, she doesn't like that. And I know that she really likes this, or I'm going to make sure that I do that for them. Or, Mrs. Smith's son came by today and we talked about such and such. And it's just really amazing, the compassion and the love and the care that is in people to provide to seniors, because generally they are there. Some of them have families that come by and visit. The majority of them do not, sad to say. And we tend to become their surrogate family. And there is just a lot of love and give and take. And I just think it's fabulous. And that goes not only with the dining team,
Mhm.
but with the housekeeping and the maintenance crew, engineering, the front desk, and all of the other departments. And, nursing, give them their kudos. But it's that other support network that really drives that care and attention of working with our residents, whether they are living with dementia or not, but just with our seniors in general. So I love it. I think it's fantastic.
That's fantastic. I love your explanation of that.
Mhm.
And it isn't work for everyone. And the leadership of an organization really sets the tone for how the residents are viewed by the rest of the staff.
Mhm.
So it sounds like you are in the right place, or have been in the right place uh, quite a bit of the time there.
I'd like to think so. I actually was engaging in a conversation today with a peer, and we spoke about the value of understanding, particularly those living with dementia, understanding what it is that is happening to them and with them, and be able to respond properly and give that guidance to help either de-escalate or just to meet their
Mhm.
unmet needs, so that there aren't these, episodes where people are going from 0 to 10. And that's just not our resident. That's also the care partner who is frustrated. And then it's that domino effect of the other residents that are in the area. But having the training and the understanding of what can we do, what happened, let's dial it back, figure out what not to do again, and then just continue to move forward and support our coworkers and family members so that they can understand, and just make life a little bit better, and enjoy, and not always be afraid. You can't be afraid. You've got to run into the fire when there's a situation that's happening.
That is a great analogy. It is. You see it, you hear it, and you respond by moving towards it.
Mhm. Yep.
Very nicely put.
Thank you.
It is a difficult thing too for the families. Placement in long-term care can bring on huge feelings of guilt, and food is often a place where their anger and guilt come out. Why are you feeding my mother this? She would never have eaten this before.
Mhm.
Helping them understand the transitions that their loved ones have gone through. Um, the culinary staff is critical in that relationship,
Mhm.
and how the organization is perceived as well.
Yes, exactly. It's funny you mentioned, my mom would never eat that.
Mhm.
Well, or give her solid food, or the opposite side. Well, no, just give her the pureed food. Well, she's able to eat. We
Mhm.
need to provide food that she can chew, and we have the speech therapists that are observing. We have the dietitians that are observing. We have nursing that's observing. There's people that are watching and see what's happening.
Mhm.
And it's again embracing that, let them do what they can do while they still can. And food, gosh, the supplements are great, and I guess they serve a purpose someplace,
Mhm.
but let's try to cure with food, with proper nutrition, and make it natural. And I always speak to understanding what the likes and dislikes are. Well, my mom would never eat that. Okay, well, did you tell anybody? Well, in the care plan, did you mention these are your mother's favorite foods? Or
Yeah.
this is, she only likes toast for breakfast, or she never drinks tea, she only likes coffee. Did anybody document that? Did anybody share that information? And I find that to be almost a something that's consistently occurring when someone is providing, let's just say coffee, for example. So like, I like my coffee black, and I'll take one Truvia just to cut the bitterness. So Gwyneth, how do you like your coffee or tea?
I like it very creamy.
Okay, so if you were to serve me coffee and just automatically just drop in the sugar and the creamer and the milk,
Mhm.
I'm not going to drink it.
Nope.
Well, what's the perception is that now maybe I'm being difficult. Well, did anybody take the time to find out that maybe I am lactose intolerant, or maybe I just don't like the taste of and the texture of creamer or half and half? And then when I don't consume, then I'm trouble. I'm the troublemaker because I didn't drink the coffee that you made for me without asking me or finding out what I want. And that just translates to other foods and
It's
textures
interesting that
and hot and cold.
yeah,
Mhm,
there are times when I just want cold chicken,
mhm,
um, and a salad or something like that. And then there are times I want something warm and hearty.
mhm.
And in a culture where we have so many coffee joints that offer, I mean, everybody's got a way they drink their coffee. And yet we expect our residents just to drink it however we provide it.
Mhm, mhm.
It's not a rational conclusion there.
It's not, because the thing is, like, when I'm working with people, that is a perfect example that I give. And I do that, like, how do you drink yours? How do you like yours? What did you want? How would you feel if somebody gave you the wrong item that you didn't order or you don't want? Well, you're going to reject it. Well, why do you think someone who just happens to have brain change feels any different? Their taste buds may still be functioning.
Mhm.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and do whatever we can to help them to consuming, and particularly hydration. It's
Yep.
huge. It's huge.
And
Mhm,
the way you touch individuals is, it can stimulate memories.
mhm,
I always remember eating this, or this is a comfort food for me because of this story. Well, that occurs even after you're not able to tell your own story,
mhm.
and is comfort. And we can't forget that piece of things.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to run out of time without talking about your book. So you are also an author,
Yes.
and I am currently reading this right now. Would you tell us a little bit about the book and how you came to write this?
Well, I'm always happy to talk about my baby. So the foundation of the book, because of my background working in dining and senior living, as I say, you get to see what's happening behind the curtain. And I saw that there was a tremendous need for education and awareness about dining, and whether that is the how we're feeding someone, the textures, those choices. And I had developed a commercial manual for commercial kitchens. And from that, I said, you know what, I need to get this out to the everyday person, because there are so many people that are contending with this, either whatever form of dementia or brain change they're going through, is they can get something from this book. So it's basically in 3 sections, and I talk about some dementia 101 just to give a background.
Mhm.
I do not get super clinical because I'm not a clinical person. I'm a high touch and understanding about the mechanics of everything, and not 10-letter words. I just, that's just not my thing. I talk about hydration and nutrition, food alternatives. And then I wrap it up talking about the care partner and things that they can do to make their lives better, in addition to for the person that's living with dementia. It's like, when everything that we do will produce a reaction or a response. So let's understand what we're doing and how we're approaching and how we're trying to communicate, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. We still need to go through certain steps to communicate. And that's the premise of the book. And I'm so proud of it, and I love it, and I just love the content of it. So I hope you enjoy it, Gwyneth.
I am. I have not made it all the way through yet because work has been crazy, but I'm really enjoying reading it, and I like the way you've set it up. You talk through the chapter about a concept, and then the food for thought sections are really nice.
I love that, right? That's
Yeah,
it's my little signature, food for thought.
it's an adult learning technique too, and it's made it easy for me to digest and think about,
Mhm.
okay, what I've just read. So kudos, I really enjoy
Great.
it.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. My final question for the day is, how do you change the perception of aging?
You know, as we as individuals age,
Mhm.
so we're getting older, our parents are getting older, our children are getting older, is that we are next in line to be that person
Mhm.
that we are currently talking about, whether it's through, you know, God forbid, dementia, but in a senior living community. So what I see when you look at the CCRCs, continuing care retirement communities, they have the independent, the assisted, the skilled nursing, the memory care, is that when they're thriving and they're in independent, they've got one eye on what's happening down in skilled, because they know that one day they're going to be sitting there, they're going to be in that space. So we need to, for, you know, if anything, for our own selfish reasons and our own ways to survive, is like, what can we do now to be advocates for what's happening in the future regarding care and training and understanding? Let's get back to basics on some of these items here and provide that basic training, because having someone sit in front of and watching videos is not the same as someone having hands-on training.
Yep.
Having, you know, real people come in and talk about real situations and give the team opportunity to share so they can learn, well, next time this happens, then here's some recommendations, or tell me what you think. And that's important, because you know what, sad to say, one day we're literally right around the corner. So what can we do to just make it better for the current people, the future people, and then the next generation?
Fantastic. Well, Toni, it has been an absolute pleasure. And I encourage everybody to check out the book, Dining with Dignity. And I hope we get to talk again soon. And I'd like to invite you back to do the program maybe in 6 months or so to see what's happening.
Absolutely. You're on.
Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us on Let's Talk Aging. I encourage you to check out our website, www.secondwind.org. It is our 25th anniversary, and we have activities going on all year this year, many of them in our home office, but some are virtual. I think we have something for everyone. So thank you, and we'll talk soon.